All right, let's talk about something that I think drives so many of us completely nuts. It's this giant, frustrating gap between knowing exactly what you need to do and somehow just not being able to do it.
I mean, think about this question for a second. Why are the smartest people so often broke? It's kind of infuriating, right? You see people who seem, less prepared, maybe less knowledgeable, and they're out there getting things done, while you, with all your research, are still stuck at the starting line.
And you know this feeling intimately. You've read all the books, you've watched the tutorials, you've created the perfect color-coded plan, but that final step, actually starting, it feels impossible. That's analysis paralysis. But here's the big twist, and this is where things get really interesting. What if this isn't just you being lazy? What if the problem is actually your greatest asset? What if your intelligence is the very thing that's holding you back? It sounds totally backward, I know, but stick with me.
So, first things first, we gotta understand what is going on inside our own heads. Because this isn't just some vague feeling. There are some real powerful psychological forces at work here. And knowing what they are is the first step to beating them.
It really starts with this classic cognitive bias, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In simple terms, it means the person who knows a little bit about something often thinks they know a lot. They're overflowing with confidence. But you, the more you learn, the more you become painfully aware of all the things you don't know. Your expertise actually creates self-doubt. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the doer. They're running on this kind of, delusional confidence that pushes them to just go for it. But on the other side, there's the thinker. And let's be honest, that's probably you, who sees every single gap, every potential pitfall, and it just freezes you right in your tracks. So what's our natural reaction to this feeling? Well, we get trapped in what I like to call the constant learning loop. And it feels so good, doesn't it? It feels productive. It feels safe. I mean, you can't fail if you never actually start. But the cruel joke here is that the more you learn, the bigger that mountain of stuff you don't know seems to get, and the paralysis just gets deeper. And, on a deeper evolutionary level, your brain is just doing what it was designed to do. It's wired for survival. It wants to protect you from threats. Back in the day, that threat was a lion in the bushes. Today, that threat is failure or embarrassment. Your brain is trying to keep you safe by keeping you perfectly still. Okay, so if our own brains are basically wired to keep us stuck, how in the world do we break out of this cycle? Well, it's not about being smarter. It's about changing the rules of the game entirely. We need a huge mindset shift, and we're going to call it the action advantage. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The goal isn't to have a flawless plan before you start. The goal is just to get moving. A 60% perfect plan that actually gets done is infinitely better than a 100% perfect plan that just lives inside your head. And here's the cold, hard truth of it. The world doesn't care how many books you've read or how brilliant your ideas are. It only rewards what you actually create, what you ship, what you do. Knowledge without action, it's just a hobby. So this is the real secret sauce. The people winning out there aren't the ones with the most flawless strategy. They're the ones who started sooner. They're out there getting real-world feedback and learning from their mistakes while everyone else is still on page 1 of their perfect plan. Speed beats perfection every single time. Okay, so that's the big mindset shift. But talk is cheap, right? What is the actual, practical way to make this happen? So let's build a super simple system that you can start using, right now. Now, this right here might be the most important idea in this entire explainer. We have got to stop setting goals. That word is so scary. It's pass or fail, it triggers our fear and makes us freeze up. But look at the other side. What if we call it an experiment? Well, an experiment can't fail. It just produces data. And suddenly, all that pressure just disappears. So this is your new rule, your new mantra. No more high-stakes goals. From now on, you're a scientist, and your only job is to design small, low-stakes experiments. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to learn. And to make it really easy, here's a little framework, PACT. First, it's purposeful. It has to be something you're actually curious about. Next, it's got to be actionable, a really specific task, not some vague idea. Then, it's continuous, meaning you commit to it for a set amount of time. And finally, it has to be trackable, so you can actually measure what happened and collect that sweet, sweet data. The formula for this could not be any simpler. All you do is fill in the blanks. I will do this specific action for this specific duration. That's it. It removes all the ambiguity that our brains love to get stuck on.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, an experiment might be, I will post one YouTube video a week for the next 8 weeks. Or maybe I will go for a walk every day for the next 2 weeks. Notice that none of these are about results. It's not get 1,000 subscribers. It's just about the action, the one thing you can actually control.
And this part is absolutely critical. When the time is up, you don't ask, was I a success? Was I a failure? No. You put on your lab coat and you ask, what did I learn? What happened? What does the data tell me? You're a scientist looking at the results, not a judge handing down a verdict. And this is the ultimate takeaway. This is the whole ballgame. You will learn more valuable, real-world information from 3 months of actually doing something than you could ever get from 3 years of just planning it. That real-world feedback is priceless.
So, I want to leave you with this question, and I want you to really think about it for a second. What is that one thing? You know the one I'm talking about, that project, that idea you've been turning over and over in your head for way too long?
Take that one thing and use the formula. Turn it into a small, simple, time-boxed experiment. Don't worry if it's perfect. Don't worry about the outcome. Your only goal is to gather a little bit of data. Your only goal is to begin. Just start.